You likely picture artificial intelligence as a helpful chatbot drafting emails or organizing your calendar. Tech billionaires spend billions of marketing dollars explicitly selling you this harmless consumer delusion. Behind those sterile corporate logos, an entirely different industry has quietly materialized right under your nose. Silicon Valley's most celebrated companies no longer prioritize consumer software applications. These celebrated startups have explicitly transformed into unregulated defense contractors. You are inadvertently bankrolling the privatization of autonomous warfare with every monthly software subscription.
Yet public discourse stubbornly frames AI development as a philosophical debate about future sentient robots. Congressional hearings focus entirely on copyright infringement, deepfakes, and theoretical job displacement. Mainstream journalists ask CEOs politely about data privacy while ignoring the military contracts sitting on their desks. You watch lawmakers debate algorithmic bias in hiring practices, completely missing the autonomous targeting systems currently deployed overseas. Governments grant these tech behemoths massive tax subsidies to innovate software solutions for civilian markets. The prevailing narrative insists these firms represent the pinnacle of peace.
However, the deployment logs from the Middle East tell a violently different story. The Israeli Defense Forces publicly utilize an AI system named Lavender to generate tens of thousands of kill lists in Gaza. Human operators spend a maximum of 20 seconds verifying each algorithmic assassination target before authorizing a lethal strike. You are watching a real-time beta test of algorithmic slaughter where machine learning models dictate civilian casualties. Defense startups actively sell these predictive targeting algorithms as enterprise software solutions. These autonomous killing frameworks suffer from the exact same hallucination rates as the chatbot writing your emails.
But the complicity extends far beyond a single battlefield or a lone military power. Project Maven effectively integrated Google's computer vision software into drone targeting feeds used across combat zones. Palantir proudly advertises its artificial intelligence platforms as the fundamental operating system for modern military operations. You can track this exact technological pipeline flowing directly into active war zones in Iran and Ukraine. Venture capital firms eagerly pour billions into autonomous weapons startups operating out of standard office parks in San Francisco. Algorithms now calculate the acceptable radius of collateral damage, mathematically justifying dead children as unavoidable statistical anomalies. These defense contractors deliberately...
Except the politicians tasked with regulating this nightmare genuinely do not understand the technology they must control. Legislators routinely treat artificial intelligence as an abstract mathematical concept rather than a deployed weapons system. The executives building these kill chain algorithms actively lobby lawmakers to classify their military models as protected intellectual property. You rely on elected officials who struggle to operate a smartphone to draft binding restrictions on hyperspeed autonomous warfare. The absolute lack of international treaties regulating algorithmic targeting guarantees a rapid acceleration toward fully mechanized global conflict. Every delayed congressional vote directly translates to unchecked...
Nevertheless, the most terrifying deception remains the deliberate linguistic camouflage used by these very companies. Tech executives explicitly refuse to label their autonomous targeting products as actual weapons. By categorizing lethal military algorithms as mere data processing tools, these corporations bypass decades of international arms control regulations completely. You're watching a massive legal loophole allow venture-backed startups to mass-produce digital munitions without facing a single government weapons inspector. The code running on servers in California directly guides precision explosives onto densely populated city blocks across the globe. This chosen blindness allows brilliant engineers to pretend they are simply optimizing datasets instead of actively engineering civilians.
Still, the consequences of this massive regulatory failure will eventually arrive at your own doorstep. The precise surveillance and targeting algorithms currently deployed against foreign populations are highly exportable domestic commodities. Police departments across your country increasingly purchase these exact same predictive AI tools to monitor civilian populations. The financial cost of failing to regulate artificial intelligence warfare is already measured in thousands of unidentified foreign graves. When you allow private software companies to privatize the power of life and death overseas, that power inevitably turns inward. The architecture of a total surveillance state has already been built.
Yet, Silicon Valley demands absolute trust while actively building autonomous systems that strip humanity from the battlefield. The window to establish binding international treaties on artificial intelligence weapons is rapidly closing. You are standing at the exact moment where the decision to kill permanently shifts from a human conscience to a silicon processor. We handed the authority of life and death to mathematical equations. We built algorithms to remove the guilt from killing, only to discover that guilt was the last thing keeping us human.